Well, spring is almost here, and now we're going to work on getting this drivetrain out of this car. Now, I know many of you are wondering, like, why are we going to pull the drivetrain out just to change transmission and stuff, but there are some other issues that I need to address, and that's the reason everything's coming right out of this car. Now, one common problem that everyone knows on these cars, and it seems to be worse on the modular engines, is they start to get some strut tower rust right in here. So now you can kind of see in there where I'm starting to get some of that built up. So what I'm going to do is when we pull this thing out, I'm going to go ahead and cut every bit of that metal out and weld in all new. But in order to do that, we got to go ahead and pull the engine as well as the transmission. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it a little differently. It's not a very conventional method, but we're going to try it, and we got some things we're going to change up on the car anyway. So we're going to take the front fascia off the car. Obviously, even for the engine hoist, it would hit the bumper, blah, blah, blah. Tear it up. We're going to remove that anyway. We're taking everything off the front end of this car. So what we're going to do is I've got a skid right here. I'm actually going to drop the engine and transmission together. Now, when I say I'm dropping them together, I'm dropping them together as one unit, but still attached to the K-member. So the motor mounts and everything is going to be all intact. We're going to just unbolt the K-member from the unibody and on the skid, pull her out of there. So that way I can repair that without the K-member and stuff being in the way. Now, what's going to make this much easier for me to do is something super cool that we picked up from Motion Raceworks, and that's a chromoly tubular lower radiator support that's actually removable. So you can actually, it's a bolt-in unit, so that will open up the whole front end of this car to make that possible. Now, those guys at Motion Raceworks, they've done their homework, and that's a pretty trick piece. It's going to be really nice, especially if you're like me and don't want to go with a full tubular front end, but you still want to be able to have to where you can just pull everything out as one whole unit. And that's really cool. I like that. So the only support that's going to be in this car is going to be from right around the bumper line. But even that is all tubular, if you guys remember from my other videos. So this is going to be open, all of this. And that whole drivetrain is going to just slide directly out this way. Now, I do want to reiterate, when I say the only support is going to be this, that's not true. When that other piece is bolted in, it's going to be one complete, loop and everything like it should be. What's nice is this is still going to all be intact, everything here. The only thing that's being changed out is what's the radiator is mounted to underneath. And with it being completely removable, it's going to make everything just nice to drop through and come out. The car front end is not going to have to come up as high at all to make this possible. Now, when I get all of this removed, what I'm also going to do is all of this is getting fixed. This wrap's getting trimmed here. It's definitely getting trimmed there. That's always looked right. It's always been an eyesore, but I just haven't really messed with it yet. The engine bay, we're going to go ahead and fix all that rust, like I said, in the strut towers, and then we're going to be just painting everything. It's going to go more of like a satin or an ultra matte black. Now, I had mentioned that I've noticed the rust issue. It seems to me like it's worse on the modular engines. And I think a lot of it has to do with, the modular engine just seems to be wider than your basic 302, but you see how close, even with the long tubes, how close everything sits against that frame, and it bakes that paint off, and there's no real protection underneath. So when the moisture hits it, it just pools and rusts. It's a very common problem, and it's something that I want to get taken care of way before it becomes a real problem and it becomes structurally unsafe. So now what I'm going to do, since the weather is nice today, I'm going to go ahead and start tearing this thing apart, getting it prepped and ready for this new piece coming in. And then on the next video, we're going to go through cutting that out, installing that, and then we're going to get into removing the whole drivetrain, and we're just going to pull it all out one full skid. Change out the transmission. We're going to then do the intake manifold and stuff then. And then that way we can just slide it all back in as kind of like its own little unit. Now, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, because I'm sure a lot of you other Mustang guys that run into the same kind of problems probably don't want to miss this. So we'll catch you guys on the next one.